What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver and also a little bit of gold. More specifically, I wanted to talk about storing your silver and your gold in a safe deposit box, obviously not in your home, and whether or not I think that's a good idea. We're going to be answering a subscriber question related to this, along with a list of other subscriber questions as well. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Use promo code FLASH for a 10% discount this weekend only. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for live streams, giveaways, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. And of course, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Refer 1 friend, they'll give you 10 free random stocks. Refer 3 friends, and they're going to give you 1 to 15 free shares of Apple. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Sunday, April 10th, 2022. The current spot price as I'm filming the video on Monday, April 4th, 2022, a couple of days in advance, doesn't even apply. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. So today, being that I'm filming this video on Monday so that I can post it on Sunday, 6 days from now. Sunday is the day of the week that I do the weekly Q&A. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have a list of questions right here. I'm looking forward to answering some of these. These are actually some pretty good questions. And just in case anybody wants to have one of their questions answered, or if you want to be featured in next week's video, head on down to the comments and ask away anything and everything related to this channel, whether it be about silver or just stacking silver and gold in general, or anything prepping related, or really anything personal finance related. Common sense, whatever makes sense for the channel. Head on down to the comments and ask away. So the first question we have here is coming from Nick, and the question is, don't you have to pay the difference in premium, or does an ounce equal an ounce? Good question. This question was actually in response to a video that I posted last week talking about potentially trading silver Libertads for silver Eagles. Now, right off the bat, at the end of the day, an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver. As long as it's an ounce of silver, that's what matters the most. But when it comes to coins or rounds or bars that typically carry a higher premium, that's a completely different ballgame. So when we're talking about Eagles and Libertads, for example, the Eagle was always a low premium silver coin. The Libertad always carried a little bit higher of a premium, and then everything that took place in 2020 just drove the premiums up even more. The premiums got driven up on everything, but especially high on silver Eagles, and the Libertads, which already had a higher premium to begin with, they got cranked up even higher. So when it comes to coins like that, or when it comes to really any type of coin out there, not just exclusively those two, when it comes to any piece of silver, even when it comes to pretty standard, average, everyday pieces of gold on a fractional level, those carry a premium as well. So when it comes to stuff like that, you normally do factor in the premium. If you're just making a person-to-person transaction, you would want to factor in the premium. I mean, for example, the spot price right now is probably about $24, $25. Again, filming it about 6 days in advance. I have no idea what it's going to be by the time the video comes out, but let's just say it's about $24, $25. And let's just say the average premium's about $3 or $4. So let's just call that, I don't know, $28 for just a piece of silver. But if we're looking at, let's just say, a silver Eagle, for example, which carries a much higher premium than just your average, everyday, generic silver round, you're going to want to factor that in. So for me, it's not really anything that I have to worry about all that much because I'm personally not a collector. I don't go after high premium silver coins. In fact, when the silver Eagle became a high premium coin, when it used to be a low premium coin, that very day, I stopped stacking the silver Eagle. I personally don't care about those. It doesn't matter to me. A lot of people say, oh, you should go after this, you should go after that because it holds the premium, you can get the premium back. And I've been saying for over 4 years now that I don't want the premium back because I don't want the currency back. Once it's in my possession, I'm not looking to get rid of it. I'm not interested in trading. I'm not interested in selling. I'm not interested in any of that. So I personally have always gone after low premium silver coins, rounds, and bars. That's what I've been doing for the last going on 4.5 years at this point, and that's probably how I'm gonna stick to doing things. But when it comes to trading one piece of silver for another piece of silver, if it's a person-to-person transaction, you're probably going to want to factor in those premiums. If it's something that's pretty much worth twice as much as what the spot price is, which, by the way, just for the record, if something's worth twice as much as what spot price is, that's up to the collector. That's up to the person. To me, nothing is worth twice as much as what spot price is. I'll happily pay a premium. I don't mind paying a premium. But if spot price is about $25, I'm not paying $50 for any 1 troy ounce silver coin, round, or bar. It's just not my style. There are collectors out there. That's what they do. That's what they're interested in. Everybody's stacking or collecting for different reasons or in different ways. Perfectly fine. But if something is typically worth about $50 right now when spot price is only $25, then yeah, in a case like that, you could trade 1 troy ounce of silver for 2 troy ounces of silver. But at the end of the day, silver, as long as it's just silver, none of that really matters all that much to me. Next question we have is coming from Angelina. And the question is, why sell it when you can wear it? Good question. And this was actually in response to the video that I posted on April 1st. And in that video, I said probably close to 15 times if I had to guess. I said it over and over and over again. It's April 1st, it's the 1st of April, it's April 1st, April 1st, April 1st, hoping that everyone would catch on to what I was doing, because what happens once a year on the 1st of April? If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look at the friggin' calendar. April 1st. So in that video, I talked about how I'm selling all of my silver and all of my gold so that I can use the currency to fund my pursuit of a career as a rapper. It was a joke. I do that every year. And a lot of people caught on to the joke. But, just in case you didn't, that was obviously a joke. And in the video, I talked about some of the expenses that come along with being a rapper. And this question that I have here from Angelina, I am assuming it's probably in reference to me talking about being a rapper as a joke. Because what's something that a lot of rappers do? They wear a lot of gold chains and rings and whatnot. So I don't know if it's in reference to that or if the joke just went over her head and said, hey, you shouldn't sell it. You should just turn it into a chain. I don't know. But either way, why sell it when you can wear it? This is actually a pretty interesting concept because there is such a thing as not being able to travel with massive amounts of silver and gold. Like, you can't get through, like, the airport with a crazy amount of silver and gold. You can only transport or carry or move so much at a time if, of course, you're hopping on an airplane to move it. If you're driving across the country, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to get on an airplane, I can't even remember off the top of my head. I want to say $10,000 is the limit. Regardless of what it is, you're only allowed to transport X amount of thousands of dollars worth of precious metals if you're going on an airplane. But that doesn't count if it's jewelry. That's only really in reference to the coins, the rounds, the bars, stuff like that. I guess for anti-money laundering purposes, I don't really know, and also for the record, I don't really care. But when it comes to jewelry, there's no limit on that. You could be wearing $5 million worth of jewelry. It doesn't matter. You can have all these Floyd Mayweather chains all over you. You can have a nice big gold ring on every single one of your fingers. You can have all these gold Rolex watches and gold bracelets and gold earrings. Like, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. So that's one way of getting around being able to transport precious metals. So when people buy gold necklaces or just gold jewelry in general, of course, it's wealth preservation at the end of the day if it's made out of gold or if it's made out of silver. If it's made out of precious metals, it's precious metals. That's what it is at the end of the day. Unfortunately, by acquiring jewelry made out of precious metals, you're going to be paying, or you're likely going to be paying, a significantly higher premium than if you were just to stick with coins, rounds, and bars. The reason for that is because there's the craftsmanship that goes into it. It takes way more time, way more effort to make a gold chain, a necklace or whatever, than it does to just simply mint a coin or to stamp a logo on a round or a bar or something like that. But it is a pretty interesting concept. It's definitely something you can do when it comes to stacking. You can absolutely stack a little bit of jewelry alongside the coins, rounds, and bars, even if you're not somebody that's into jewelry. Personally, I hate jewelry with a burning passion. I can't stand having things dangling all over me like that. But if I found a gold chain or some gold earrings or something like that for a fair price, and if they showed me the weight, if we could weigh what the jewelry is, and let's just say, a gold chain, let's just say it weighs, I don't know, let's just say it weighs 1/10 of a troy ounce of gold, give or take, and with the spot price being about $1,900, maybe $2,000, if they were willing to part ways with it for, I don't know, let's just say $200, that's pretty close to spot. That's pretty fair. I wouldn't really pass up on that, because nowadays you would have a pretty tough time even finding a 1/10 ounce gold coin rounder bar for $200. Usually it's $210, $220, sometimes even $230, $40. So in a situation like that, I wouldn't pass up on it. And guess what? I would be able to travel without any problems, because that's wealth that you can wear. But yeah, at the end of the day, not into jewelry, I'm not into wearing it, and I'm not into stacking it, but I wouldn't pass it up. The next question we have is coming from James, and the question is, what state do you live in that looks like southern Maryland off of Pax River? Good question. I definitely don't live in Maryland. I was in Maryland one time, Ocean City, Maryland, to be more specific, for the Do Tour back in like 2007 or 8 or something like that. It's big, crazy skateboarding BMX competition. Anyway, I live in New Jersey, and what you're responding to, or what is being responded to here, is a video that I posted probably close to 2 weeks ago at this point. I posted this outdoor video talking about the difference between silver eagles and silver maples. It was more so talking about the difference between 3 nines and 4 nines, pure silver coins, rounds, and bars, and why it doesn't make a bit of a difference to me, but technically there is a very, very, very slight difference between the two. I just figured that it was kind of a refreshing change of pace to just take the camera outdoors. I went to this half-mile hiking trail, and I hit record, and I just filmed my video while walking the trail rather than having the camera pointed down at the table with some coins, rounds, and bars on display. Just a refreshing change of pace, got some sunlight, exercise, and fresh air all in one while simultaneously making a video, and it was actually pretty fun, and I look forward to doing that even more now that the weather's nicer. But yeah, that's the central New Jersey area. There's this half-mile trail not too far from where I live. I tell my friends, if I'm ever not answering my phone, you go to that trail, I'm probably there. So I actually film videos like that pretty close to every single week in the Precious Metals VIP Club, by the way. I post weekly adventure vlogs. In fact, I just posted one on Saturday morning, which by the time this video comes out, that was yesterday morning. And it wasn't the trail that I went to. I actually went to this apartment complex area, and I walked around because it's right next to the river. They have a dock. They have this foresty area and whatnot. I film a lot of videos like that, and those are VIP Club exclusive. So if anybody's interested in more outdoorsy adventure type of vlogs with that silver and gold or personal finance twist, VIP Club, link in the description. Next question we have is coming from Scarlet Nightmare. And the question is, do you ever answer our questions or just expect us to answer yours for the algorithm? Nope. I don't answer anybody's questions. When I look at the comments and I see a question, I blatantly ignore it. And I definitely don't screenshot it, and I absolutely don't include it in my weekly Q&A videos that I post every single Sunday for the last 3 or 4 months at this point. Not my style. I don't answer questions. But on a serious note though, I try to answer the questions whenever I get a chance. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability at this point to read and reply to every single comment that I receive. And if you're familiar with something called the law of averages, I calculated it when it came to YouTube. So the law of averages, for example, the way it is for YouTube at least, if I'm getting, let's just say, about 100,000 views a month, the law of averages is about 10%. So 100,000 views usually means that I'm going to be getting about 10,000 likes on the videos. And once again, 10%. If I'm getting about 10,000 likes on the videos per month, that means I'm probably getting about 1,000 comments on my videos every month, give or take. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but point being is that hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands and thousands of comments come my way. It's quite literally impossible to read every single one of them, let alone type out an entire reply to each and every one of them, which is actually what inspired these weekly Q&A videos. I figured to myself, I was like, man, I feel bad. I can't reply to these comments. They're just too many of them. By the time I finish work and by the time I film a video, filming the video takes 20, 30 minutes. Editing the video could take sometimes up to an hour, maybe even 2 hours. By the time I export the video from the editing software and then upload it to YouTube and then post it early in the VIP club and then get it set up and scheduled to post here on YouTube, the entire day has gone by, and then I have no choice but to already be on to the next video or already on to the next day of work and try to figure out a way to squeeze in a video. So unfortunately, I don't have the ability to reply to comments like that. So yeah, it's pretty much just gotten to the point where it's not even manageable, which is coming around full circle why I make videos like these. I go through, I can filter out which comments I see, and I click the little tab that only shows me questions that get asked in the comment section. I screenshot some questions that I don't normally answer or normally talk about, and I answer them in videos. It's the best I can do. I'm trying my best over here. I understand it's a good problem to have. 18,000 subscribers. I come from a small town. That's a larger number than the entire population of the town that I live in. So I understand it's a good problem to have, but there's not really a whole lot I can do about that. So I try to answer the questions in the videos, and I hope that that can be respected. I hope that's a pretty fair ask. But hey, if you ever want to have one-on-one conversations, I do go live in the Precious Metals VIP Club multiple times a week for hours and hours and hours on end. So that's always an option as well. Again, VIP Club link in the description. Next question we have is coming from Jay Parker, asking me, where do you get the decoder lens? Good question. The decoder lens you're referring to, this one right here, unfortunately, these were never sold on Amazon. I looked for years. I never could once find them. I have no idea why they're not sold on Amazon, but they're sold on most precious metal dealing websites. I got mine off of eBay, I think, a couple years back. Your local coin shop probably has these, and if they don't, they can probably get you one. They're only a couple of dollars, $5, $10, maybe $15. I have no idea what they're going for, but they're super cheap. And I've said in previous videos, like a long time ago, that this thing, it's not like a one-time use. And I used to say, if you snap this thing in half, that's really the only time where it wouldn't work anymore. As it turns out, I'm wrong, because it works any area of this lens right here. I thought it was just kind of the center area, but no, you can actually scan over the top of it over here or over here at the corners. It doesn't really matter. So even if you snap it in half, it still works, and at that point you'd have two. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I just posted a whole video about Sunshine products, but Sunshine has this security feature, the Mint Mark SI, right there in the dead center of a majority of their silver rounds and bars, at least the newer ones, that is. And with this SMI, Sunshine Minting Ink decoder lens, if you put it right over top, it'll say the word valid. It's a security feature for proof of authenticity. I think that's showing up on screen. At least I hope so. You should be able to see the word valid. I don't know if the camera's really going to do it justice, but there we go. the word valid right there. So like I said, these decoder lenses, I think they are something that everyone should have, especially if you're someone that goes to the local coin shop, or maybe you pick up some coins, rounds, and bars from pawn shops or thrift stores or antique shops or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of different ways you can go about getting your hands on silver. And if you're ordering it off of somebody from social media, if you're ordering it online somehow, some way, you're probably going to want to have a decoder lens. Like I said, they're only a couple of dollars. It should, in theory, last forever unless you crumble it to pieces somehow. And it's something that I think everybody should have. It's a way of just quickly examining a sunshine product and verifying for yourself whether or not it's real, whether or not it's fake. It's a good thing to have. I think everybody should have one. I just posted a video last week talking about why I love sunshine rounds and bars. And not only is it because I think they're an awesome looking piece of silver, but I'm also a massive fan of that security feature right there. Now, there are a lot of different types of security features. There is a hologram one like the new Britannias have. There could be serial numbers like the RCM bars have. It could be a missing read like the Type 2 Silver Eagle has. I still don't understand how that's actually a security feature, but hey, it is what it is. Or, of course, it could be something that requires a decoder lens. That's why it's my favorite security feature, because it requires an additional item. It requires something else to verify whether or not it's real. It's not like you just look at it, because you can look at the missing read on the Type 2 Silver Eagle. What if somebody counterfeits a Silver Eagle and they counterfeit the missing read? Did that go right over the mint's head? If they're going to copy a coin, can't they just copy the missing read? What's the difference? I don't understand. A security feature that requires an additional item, on the other hand, to me just makes far more sense. So I believe it's like, I would say it's definitely the superior security feature. That, or something with micro engraving that would require you to use a microscope to closely examine the coin itself. That's another good security feature. It requires an additional item. It requires a microscope, or it requires a decoder lens. I think everybody should have one of these. You never know. If you stumble upon a good deal on some sunshine products, whether it be online or from somebody on eBay or at the pawn shop or the coin shop or something like that, one of these could be a lifesaver. So I would recommend getting one of these. I got mine off eBay. You should be able to get one off of pretty much any of the online precious metal dealing websites, or you can just ask your local coin shop. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you out. Next question we have is coming from Mykie DYDSS 2, asking me, how much are 15 shares of Apple worth right now? Excellent question. Now, if you remember at the very beginning of the video, I talked about how one of the new Weeble promos for the month of April says that if you refer 3 friends to the app by the end of the month, they will give you a spin on the Weeble wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple. But you have the chance of winning all the way up to 15 free shares of Apple. And the current share price of Apple as I'm filming the video, keep in mind, this is kind of like spot price in a weird way, where it's going to be different by the time the video comes out. It might be higher, might be lower. I don't know, but I can't imagine it moving very much over the course of the next 6 days. The current share price of Apple as I'm filming this video on Monday the 4th is $178.35 per share. So even if you just win one, that's $178 right there. But what happens if you win 15? What happens if you spin the Weeble wheel and you don't land on the 1, 2, 3, 5, or 7, and you land on the 15? What happens then? How much is that worth? Well, according to my calculator, $178.35 multiplied by 15 is $2,675.25. First and foremost, if you get 15 free shares of Apple worth anywhere close to that, congratulations, that's awesome. But 2, You have any idea how much silver or gold you can get with that? That's why I always tell people, if you don't want these free stocks, if you don't want to capitalize on these promos, do it anyway and then sell the stocks. Congratulations, now you have the cash to go and get the silver and gold. You don't got to keep the stocks. But $2,675.25 in cash can get you roughly 89 ounces of silver, somewhere between 85 and 90 ounces of silver, give or take. Premium included, by the way. Or if you wanted to go for some gold, you would have almost enough to get yourself an ounce and a half of gold. You can get an ounce and a quarter of gold and still have a little bit of cash left over to go and get a couple ounces of silver. This is why I say, don't pass up on these opportunities. They don't present themselves all the time. Webull has different promos that go on every month, but they're usually not this intense. This isn't the only promo that they have going on. If you don't already have an account on Webull, if you download the app and fund your account, I will leave a link in the description if you want to use my link, they will give you 5 free random stocks just for doing so. And you don't have to fund your account with $100 or $50. It's any amount. You can deposit 1 penny and it still works. You want to know how I know that? Because that's what I did. 5 free random stocks just for being there. And if you refer 1 friend by April 18th, they'll give you 10 free stocks just for the referral. This is part of their advertising budget, by the way. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Yeah, it's because this is from their advertising budget. They buy the stock and give it to you. 10 free random stocks for the referral, and you can do that up to 10 times by April 18th. That's up to 100 free random stocks. And then, of course, if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you that spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple with the chance of winning all the way up to 15 free shares of Apple. Don't pass up on an opportunity. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. Next question we have is actually the last question of the night, and it's coming from Angel asking me, is that cash on hand or in the bank? Now this is in reference to, or in response to, a video that I actually a YouTube Shorts video that I posted titled How Much Cash Should You Save? And in the video I talked about how it varies person to person. There's not a specific number I can give. I can't just say, oh, you need to have $1,000, you need to have $10,000. No, it varies person to person based on their lifestyle, based on where they live, how many people they're financially prepping for, their income, their expenses. It varies based on so many different things. So I used this calculation in the video, and I said that's probably a good method to go by when figuring out how much cash you should save. So the question is, that cash that you figure out how much you need, should you store it in the bank or should you have it on hand? Now that's something that I didn't go over in the video. For me, I think if you're going to have a cash emergency fund, I think it's probably a better idea to have a majority of it on hand. I would say stick that in the safe with the silver and gold. That's just my opinion. That's what I believe is the best way to go. However, I do keep some cash in the bank. But I don't have a savings account. I've never had a savings account. I did at one point, but they closed it due to inactivity because I wasn't using it. I personally don't believe in a savings account. I don't believe in that 0.0001% interest or whatever the case may be. And I definitely don't agree with letting my currency just sit there and lose purchasing power in a savings account over an extended period of time. The cash that I keep in the bank is in the checking account. And the only reason I keep any amount of cash in a checking account is really just for convenience. That's the account that I use to pay off all the credit cards that I use. That's the account that I use to make online purchases. That's the account that I use for my online or electronic transactions. I keep just enough cash in there to take care of simple monthly expenses and whatnot. And almost everything that I purchase gets put on a credit card. So then I just use the checking account to pay off the credit card. Bing, bang, boom. Problem solved. Now, I wanted to kind of spin off in a slightly different direction, because as the title of the video says, and as I talked about at the very beginning, should your silver or gold be kept on hand, or should it be put in a safe deposit box? I'm kind of piggybacking off of the question that was just asked and answered just a second ago, and I wanted to do more of a precious metal spin on that question. So should it be in the safe, or just, somewhere in your house, somewhere in your possession, or a safe deposit box? Now, to be honest with you, a safe deposit box is something that has never even crossed my mind. It's not anything that I've ever even considered. A couple people over the years have asked, hey, should I keep it in a safe deposit box? And I've always said the same thing. You can if you want to. I don't, and I also wouldn't. To me, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't think it's that great of an idea, especially for someone like me that's constantly making silver videos. What am I going to do? Run on over to the safe deposit box and get the coin, the rounder bar that I want to talk about that day? Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, there are some people out there that have a slightly more extreme way of thinking, where obviously if you're keeping your property on someone else's property, aka the bank or the post office or whatever, wherever the safe deposit box is, they believe that these things are designed to confiscate whatever you keep in there. No, that's not the case. It could happen in theory, but is anything going to happen in the future that would cause that to happen? I'd be willing to bet the stack on it. Probably not. I'm willing to bet you can keep pretty much whatever you're legally allowed to store in the safe deposit box for the rest of your life, and it'll be just fine. However, like I said before, just because I think it's an okay thing to do doesn't mean it's something that I would do. It's not something I would do. I could never see myself storing my silver in a safe deposit box, and it has nothing to do with thinking that the bank or the post office is going to take whatever is inside away from me. It's actually just because of really just not being practical. And the reason I say that is because the bank and the post office, you have to rely on whether or not they're open. What if you need your money at night? What if you need your money on the weekend? What if you need your money on a holiday? You gotta wait until the bank opens to go and get your money? You gotta wait until the post opens to go and get your money? To me, it doesn't make sense. Now, if it's something that you're absolutely not going to need, if it's something that you absolutely know you will not touch and will not need to for years, decades on end, then sure, you can if you want to. I believe it's safe. I don't believe the risk outweighs the reward. To me, it's just more of a convenience thing. I don't like the idea of storing something that belongs to me on someone else's property. I don't like the idea of not having 24/7 access to my money and what belongs to me and what I own. To me, it just doesn't make sense. So when it comes to a safe deposit box, it's not something I've ever done. It's not something I've ever even considered, and it's definitely not something that I could ever in my life see myself doing it, especially not for the long term. If something comes up, if I'm relocating or something like that, I guess to some extent I could be open-minded to having a safe deposit box for a short period of time during a relocating process or something like that, potentially. I have no idea. But I have no desire, I have no plan of ever using a safe deposit box for anything at all. Not just silver and gold, just in general. So those are just some of my thoughts, and I want to know yours. So if you can head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on safe deposit boxes for silver and gold? Have you ever stored your precious metals in there? If not, would you? Does it sound like a horrible, terrible idea, or does it just sound like something that you wouldn't really be interested in? Or does it sound like a good idea? Head on down to the comments and let me know. And of course, you're more than welcome to further answer any question that I answered in today's video. If you want to extend on my answer, you can do that. And on top of that, if you have any questions for me, or if you want to be featured in next week's Q&A, head on down to the comments and ask away. If you guys liked today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs in a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are actually raising a little bit of funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Remember to use promo code FLASH for a 10% discount this weekend only. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free, and every Saturday morning I post a brand new vlog. This one was actually really fun and really interesting. You're going to want to watch that. VIP Club link in the description. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. And of course, last but certainly not least, go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Deposit any amount, and you're going to get 5 free random stocks just for doing so. Refer one friend by April 18th, and they're going to give you 10 free stocks just for the referral. Remember, it's part of their advertising budget. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you 1 free share of Apple with the chance of winning potentially all the way up to 15 free shares of Apple. Each share, as I'm filming the videos, worth about $178. Multiply that by 15, you could potentially win over $2,600 worth of Apple stock, which you can then sell, and congratulations, then you have the cash to go get you some silver and gold if you want. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. Don't pass up on an opportunity. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? When it comes to all of the questions that were asked and answered, is there anything that you'd like to extend on? Would you answer any of the questions in a different way? If you have any questions for me, you're more than welcome to head on down to the comments and ask away. I can be more than happy to try to feature you in next week's Q&A or a future Q&A. But more importantly, what are your thoughts on safe deposit boxes? When it comes to storing your silver and storing your gold, maybe you don't want to keep it in a safe, or maybe you can't afford a safe, or maybe you don't have a place to put a safe. Or maybe you just feel the safe deposit box is the best and safest, most secure way of storing the precious metals. Or maybe you're highly against the safe deposit box and you absolutely refuse. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.